It is Sunday, May 24th, 2026. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I meant to move the sheep yesterday, but we had a ram die. So I had to spend my time at the field prepping the ram to feed my dogs. So yeah, it's about 80, 85 degrees right now. It's not that humid. It's actually kind of nice. You can see lots of animals are shedding now. All of the brown grass is the spring grass. The green grass is summer grass. It's Bermuda grass right there. It's all over the place. It's looking really good. So I put some leftover food beyond the row, so the dogs are there. That's what the barking is there. They're disagreeing with each other about the food. So yeah, it's a little bit warm. I meant to do this yesterday, so the sheep are eager to move. Hairy vetch. I'm not sure what that is. I'm looking for some goatweed. I saw a little bit in some where it's thinner. I think that's goatweed right there, actually. That's goatweed. Lots of people comment that I need to kill all the goatweed. I need to spend money on diesel and get out here and shred it before it goes to seed. But to be honest, goatweed really isn't a nuisance for me. We don't get that much of it anymore. I mean, the first year I got plenty of it. But also one year we had a pretty dry, hot summer, and the goatweed was doing really well that summer. And then underneath the goatweed I had tons and tons of grass. So I assumed the goatweed was the reason why the grass was doing well underneath the canopy there. So I'll just let nature do her thing, and I'll encourage her to do certain things over other things, but I'm not going to try to force her. I'm not out here to kill things. That's not my purpose. I want to grow. I'm going to sit here in the shade here. Here's some of our dogs. That dog's for sale, that dog's for sale, this dog's for sale, that dog's for sale. And I have probably about 8 more. Now about 6 more I can get rid of. Let me know if you guys need a livestock guardian dog for sheep. I recommend getting at least 2. The dogs, they work in pairs when they're guarding. At dawn and dusk typically is when the predators are scooting about. So what the dogs will do is one will stay with the sheep while the other one will go out prowling at night. And one of the best things they do is they bark. And by barking at things that aren't supposed to be there, that's how they chase away the predators and keep the sheep safe. So if you're living near these dogs and you hear them barking at night, there's probably something they're barking at. You know, these guys are super excited to see me though. Yeah, I guess some of the water, we got 1.5 inches of rain yesterday morning. I guess some of that water accumulated right there. The dogs are taking advantage of it. I have the puppies out there. There's a little cover out there. I'm gonna go check on the puppies next, and then on the cows. This is my oldest dog, Hindungi. I don't think any of these puppies are his. Some of them might be, but I don't think that he was able to breed with them. But his sister, littermate, Nutmeg, she's out here somewhere, I think. She's the grandma of all these dogs. Grandma, and so they have her genes. So anyway, let's look at the sheep going after the trees there. I think that's a perfectly valid target, you know. You can see the sheep really don't mind the dogs. The dogs don't really bother them. One of my neighbors was commenting that sheep hadn't shed the wool yet, and sometimes, especially if they're young, they don't shed all the way. at first. But like I think in this case, this sheep, I hope she's healthy. Looks like there's not much under that shedding fur. I plan on putting these sheep in a pen here in a few weeks and going through them all. But it's not unusual for them to build up a mat like this in the summer. Eventually it'll come off. Second year sheep, third year sheep, they tend to do a lot better at shedding. So. And if I catch the sheep, sometimes I can pull it off, but I don't want to pull too hard. I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. Sometimes it just comes right off. You know, I want to get a hold of this one. So. They like those leaves. This dog was involved in some kind of altercation. He's been healing. I think he's almost all the way better, but I don't know what he was fighting. But clearly he survived, so he won. There's stuff out here. There's all kinds of animals out here. The one that people are scared of the most is the coyotes. But we have bobcats. We have raccoons. They cause problems too. Even the hawks, right? So I'll see the dogs come back with wounds and like, where'd you get that from? They're not telling me. They don't know, obviously. But like this one has something all over her snout a while back. She's got scars. This one has a fresh wound on her nose there too. Sometimes they just get caught in the wrong spot. They get themselves caught in a thorn bush or something, you know. But as near as I can tell, my sheep aren't dying from predators, so these dogs are pretty good dogs. But I do need to get them out of here. Give me a holler if you're interested in a few. I'm not an expert at raising dogs for livestock guardian, but I can tell you what I know, and there's resources online you can look up too if you have problems, if you have questions about how stuff is supposed to be done. So I don't feed the dogs with the sheep. There's no dog food in the sheep row. The sheep are too smart to get to it, and I really can't let the sheep get to it. It's not good for the sheep. So I feed them outside of the row. I come by once a day. I feed them about all the food they can eat, and I use the command eat when it's time to eat, and back when it's not time to eat. So I say back, back, back. Feed them the water, or feed them the food, and then tell them to eat. That's one way just to keep them like tame so they don't jump me when I go try to feed. They get all excited when they see me because they know it means food. You know, they're like, I want food, give me some food. So as you can see, they're not skinny. They have some fat on there. So I might be feeding them a little bit too much. Rahindui, boy, you were shedding like a dog. He probably itches all over. Yeah. So yeah, we had spring really came into full bloom. I think early April is when we started seeing the grass really start to grow. And here we are, the last week of May, and already it's summer. So we just get a short spring, 4 or 5 weeks, and then it's summertime. Summer temperature, summertime. The weather reports on the TV stations, they try to ham up the temperatures. Temperatures we get here during the summer, 80 to 90, even 100, sometimes even above 100, 107, you know. And depending on the humidity, it makes it more or less bearable. 80 degrees in high humidity is miserable, but it can be 95 degrees outside when it's nice and dry, and it feels quite nice, you know. So the humidity is where most of the discomfort comes from. The same goes for the animals too. If it's hot out here, the sun's shining, if it's not humid, they can take shade and, you know, recuperate. But if it's humid, it doesn't matter where they go, you know. The shade doesn't help at all. So so those are fairly typical temperatures in this area. Been doing this for 4 or 5 years at least, so those are the temperatures I've seen. As long as they get plenty of water. as long as they have all the water they can drink, they should be okay. These are animals that are adapted to heat. The dogs, they don't like the heat. They'll start digging holes and burying themselves to cool off. But when they shed, there's hardly any fur on them. And sometimes they'll crawl into the water trough, try to get out of the heat. That's kind of funny to watch them sitting in the water trough, you know. Or I have a pond over there. They'll go swimming in the pond. They like to go swimming in the pond in the heat, and that cools them off pretty well too. I can tell because when they come out, they're not panting anymore. So, but yeah, they're all adapted to the heat. So guys, have a great day. Take care and bye-bye.